What's up, everyone? Michael Damon here with the latest episode of Starbeam.one, Stand Up and Shine, and Shill. Yeah, that's right. We Shill here from time to time. This is a series I put together to keep you up to date with my project Starbeam.one, and it is meant for stakeholders and people that are interested in following along what's going on with Starbeam.one, modeled after the agile methodology of Standup, where you tell your teammates what you're working on, what you're going to be working on, and any sort of friction points that you are encountering. And I've added so much more. Let's begin. Program notes, starting off the top of the show, just letting people know what's going on, any sort of big news, if there's any. There isn't really any now. Just that I feel like I'm productive, a little bit more productive than I have been, and it's been nice to get tasks done. I really just haven't been spending as much time on Twitter lately, and I haven't been doing a lot of drawing either, so that's really kind of a huge stress point. But, everything else is going really well, and the engine right now is code. It's got to code and get these features done, and I have been doing that. I've been feeling really good about that. We'll talk a little bit about that. And also, another thing that happened here is we had a good amount of volume here for April, and I'm going to start paying attention to this number, for better or for worse, of the monthly totals. Whenever a new monthly show like this happens, I'm going to have the previous month's volume, and last month we did 880 flares of all-time volume, of all volume within the month of April. And for comparison, I've got December there, which is kind of the reason why I'm even mentioning this, is that, wow, 81 flares in December. Now we just got done doing 880 in April. So it's like almost an 11x improvement since then. I think it's 10.92 or something, 10.94, 10.92, I think. Yeah, so that's the reason why I wanted to bring it up. But it's also kind of an interesting metric, right? That's kind of what we do. We do the 24-hour metric, but just kind of wanted to point that out. It's like, okay, I kind of get down on the sales, doing like these shows where I'll see a low 24-hour count, and, seeing this really just fired me up a bit, seeing that, we did 81 in December, and this past month we did 880. So, we are trending in the right direction. So hold out hope here. Okay, dashboard. Time to shill with a dashboard and any sort of pertinent statistics that we have. You can get to the dashboard anytime by going up to the hamburger menu up there in the top right and scroll down to dashboard, and that will take you to this page. You do not even have to be signed in, and in fact, I am not right now. And here you can see all of the pertinent stats that we have here, and you can see that we're really increasing on users, and that's a really good sign here. With collectors, we just got another collector here as of today, so we're up to 90 now, which is awesome. 76, I was born in the year 76, so that's looking really good to me. And, our 24-hour volume here, even all-time volume here, or combined, total volume is 28.46. I say all-time, but it's combined. It's the total volume. 28.46. So, we're kind of, I think we're hanging out in the high 20s right now. So we're sort of looking at this, and that's just primary sales. I'm not keeping as track as much of the resales at the moment. I'm looking at the primary sales, but the primary sales are doing about in the high 20s. And so 880, flares for the month of April, I think it was like 29 or so, or 28, thereabouts. And so, so high 20s, doing pretty good, right? And this is without any formal marketing or advertising, which is really encouraging, right? We haven't even turned on the faucet yet for, we got LinkedIn credits, and we also have Google credits that we're going to be using, and we're designing a landing page for that to get that underway. But you can just see here, even the 7-day volume, that's looking close to about $50 a day. So all of our activity seems to happen in, I would say, on Friday or Saturday towards the weekend, and then kind of dies down after that. And so, unfortunately, when I do these recordings, it's sort of in the die down period, but still, this is better than we've had recently with, what was it, the $1 or one flare, 1.75 flare. So we're doing a little bit better there. And, we did pass 3,500 flares, and that's looking good here. We're on our way to 4,000. So really great, right? And our average sale amount, right? Remember, this used to be 0.25, and then it kind of exploded up to 0.5 and then 0.75. Now we're starting to inch towards a full flare for our average sale price. So that's also looking great. And so, moving here, man, we're just getting traffic. Really, this is kind of like a really great sign here. We're, past 7,000, 7,500 now, but look at already 300 today. Boy, I'm going to have to start looking at the logs here to figure out who's going to, that's a lot, right? This is the most I've seen it in a while, especially for this time of day, because we're only halfway through and it's usually like 100, 150. So I'm going to have to check that out and see what's going on, because that looks a little abnormal there. So not that I'm complaining, but yeah, that's something to check out. So, last week at one point we had 14 user accounts here for the past week, and that was awesome. That meant we were doing 2 per day, but right now it's not looking so good, but you'll have to take my word for it. But you can see, we're almost up to 200 users here, and that's just an awesome sign. And I kind of just wanted to scroll down here to the licenses. We're approaching 5,000 total licenses here, and what I wanted to show here is last time I was talking about the sold versus unsold. So we have sold, our sold percentage is at 79.45%, and then our unsold right now is at 20%, which is basically just 1 minus that sold percentage. And here's the unsold market value right now. This is inching up a little bit as well, and that's at $1,700. That means that if you had $1,700, you can go through and buy every single license on the market right now, and you would own a good chunk of that. Again, these are the earliest licenses. Not a good chunk. You would own all of it, but these are the earliest licenses, right? So, as the system grows and it produces even more licenses, these are the ones that are available now, and they should be worth more in the future. And I try to keep away from any sort of investment talk or promises or anything like that, but that's how it's supposed to work, and we're waiting for someone to take me up on that. So again, not investment talk and investment speak. There's no guarantees here, but that's how it's supposed to work. So, all right. So one last thing I wanted to show here is the accounting, is that I did provide the amount of people that we are paying out to, and you can see that now here with our recipients. We have 28 people that we've paid $1,300 or 1,300 flares, 1,322.48 flares, and that is really awesome to me because those are people all over the world, and it's through PayPal and Coinbase. It's just really great. Okay, cool. Now we can just move on to the next slide here. Okay, so what did I do? I did one thing, and that is user account merging, making it so this basically has been with us since the beginning of last year. It was very clear very quickly that people are going to create their different accounts, and this OAuth 2, as amazing as it is, it does introduce this problem of forgetting what account you signed in, and then you sign in with another OAuth 2 provider, and now you've got 2 accounts. So this is kind of a huge story, and there were a lot of the good news is that I'm almost done with it, but there are a lot of considerations, and I won't know for certain until I take a copy of the production database and start testing with that, because that has a lot of data, and I wouldn't feel right testing this, deploying this until I actually tested it with a copy of older production data. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. And, there's things like collections. We got to, move entire collections. If someone has an account, 2 different accounts with a collection on one, and you move it to another one that doesn't have that collection, you got to move that collection, right? And so we do that through resales. And so another thing that's been introduced here is that we will have the ability to do transfers now. And that's what we're doing. We're doing a system transfer, system ownership transfer, and this has been requested by several of our members, and that is now in there. We just need to build an interface around that, but you will be able to do just a basic transfer. So you have a license and you don't want to put it on resale, and you just want to gift someone. Well, you can do that now with our system ownership transfers, and so that will be another story at another time, but that's in there, and that is part of our user account merging, and I think that's all I did. So we can move on to the next slide here. So yeah, nice little addition there with our transfers now. It's something that we had to do, back when I first started, before I started doing 5 free flare credits. I did this guarantee thing, and it's still there for the first 25 people that want their money back if they ever want it. I basically I did a little bit of a guarantee where it's like the first $5 of the month for 12 months. So a $60 value where you can get up to $60 back, and it would refund that to you with these system transfers. Well, I took that code and made it more official here with the user merging story. And so when we merge an account, first off, you also have to close any resale listings that you have, because you can't have the same license listed twice. And so you got to close all of your, if there's any resale listings, they all get closed, and then they get transferred over with a system transfer. And that is that's a resale listing with a value of 0 to that. You can only do that through our system, so you can't do that with a regular resale. We have validation rules against that, but if you do it behind the scenes with a system, we allow that. So that's kind of cool. That's in there. And, I'm still working on this user merge story. And you can also see that we still have about 10 days left. So I'm feeling kind of confident here. I'm feeling better about the schedule, feeling better about the progression as well. I'm able to get a lot of work done, and that's been really awesome. I'm feeling really happy about that. And so if I get that done, and we're talking about 2 weeks from now, if I have a show, or when I have the show here in 2 weeks, what that's going to look like, what am I going to have done? This is the same as last time, login screen improvements and the email policy, and hopefully we'll have the user merging happening and clear up some of the unused accounts that are out there. Friction points with Hide the Pain Harold, one of my favorite memes of all time. I just love him on that telephone because this is me. Harold is me with, talking to so many different tech firms, especially. And, you talk about, it's actually even worse than this, right? Like Facebook and Twitter. Where's their support? Where's their customer support? They have none, right? They do their best. And how do they get so big? How do they get so just amazingly terrifically and horrifically humongous the way that they are? They have no customer support. It's just really a head scratcher there. And that's me, right? That's basically anyone that wants to get support on Facebook or Twitter, just hanging on the phone and talking to no one because no one is there, right? So the good news is, despite my rambling, not a lot going on here. Everything's working really well. We'll get, when I do the scores here, technology especially, just Visual Studio is so awesome now. It's so great. Everything is working exactly how I would anticipate it for an IDE. It's just really great. The only thing here is this thing with ReSharper, and I have to be honest, I'm really not going to start nagging on that for quite some time, just based on the ordeal that I just went through. And, JetBrains has done such a great job with making sure that they're getting, the obvious fires fixed, and they have done that. And I just, there's a certain nagging that goes on with that, and I just don't feel that they deserve that right now, because, the things that they did improve were there, right? And I wasn't able to see that because of this other major issue with Microsoft. And once Microsoft fixed that, I was able to see all the great things that JetBrains did. So I'm just really not concerned about it, but I'm keeping it here for the time when I'm going to start nagging again, which might be like in a few months. So get used to that for a while. Kudos. I'm going to fire this up really quickly. We've got a few here, sending out a shout out to Bob and Eric, IO Concept, in our server and our Discord server, helping out really a lot with Python and the scripts there for getting the scheduling. It's mostly Bob, but I believe Eric helped out a little bit as well. Eric's also doing just botting in general and learning that and learning Python. It's awesome to see. I really appreciate it. Just kind of wanted to send out a shout out to both of you there. I haven't done that yet, so I just kind of want to make sure that you are recognized and appreciated. So shout out to Bob and Eric there, IO Concept. And then also Liliuni has just been doing awesome work with Twitter, doing scheduling, and just being consistent about it. I just want to send out a huge shout. That just means so much to see that. Every time I see one, I'm liking and retweeting it. I'm basically the only person doing that, but this is the name of the game with marketing, and we'll get into it with the scores. But this is how it starts, right? This is you can't have the rest of it without this part where you actually do it. So really huge shout out to Liliuni for your assistance there. Okay, getting into the scores here. Effectiveness level, we talk about how I feel, and it's all really mostly about emotion. We want to be in touch with our feelings and emotions to be a better human being, and you won't be a better human being until you get to that part down. And believe me, I know I've taken over 46 years now, going on to 47, learning this very valuable and important lesson that I believe everyone who is on planet Earth should learn as well. So we get into that with these effectiveness levels, and how I rate these are a score of 0 to 10. And the first one here is morale, just overall score. How do I feel? I was a 7 last time. I'm kind of going up by 1, feeling a little bit better about things. I always knock on wood here to, secure that. Things are feeling better now with the schedule. We'll get into that next, and I'm able to get things done. I'm feeling a little bit better about things overall. Schedule was a 2, and then I boosted it up to a 6, and now it's back down to a 5. I'm feeling okay, but I'm in the middle of this, and it could be better. There's 10 days remaining. There's a lot of cushion, a lot of padding. I would like a little bit more, but feeling a little bit better about it overall. Technology is just awesome right now. Like I mentioned, everything's just working really well. I don't want to. In fact, if I have to nag about something, I'm just like I'm not doing it. I'm feeling so good about things right now. I'm not feeling the need to do that. And things are just so much crisp and clear now, and just works so fast. I'm just sitting there typing, and it's just like it's so responsive. It's like yes, and it's like it's just so elating, I guess is a good word for it. I feel so elated just typing, and it's just so nice to have that. And even Razor files and things of that nature, everything's just working really well. I feel like I can go on and on about technology because it's just, I basically have spent 2 years complaining about it, and it's finally here to the point where I don't feel a need to complain about it. And, I will be talking a little bit more about that. So get used to it. And finally here with marketing, it's such a riddle, and, it's just really interesting because we're doing this thing now with the 24-hour sales volume, where we, with NFTs, we're kind of picking a fight with NFT projects because NFT projects are public and known and seen, and you can see every single one of them and how much money they made in the past 24 hours. So what I do is I take our 24-hour total volume, and then I compare it to this list of about 3,000 NFT projects, and I pick the one that we did better than, and then I make a Shill tweet where I promote ourselves with our 24-hour volume that does better, because we do better. We actually do better than most NFT projects, better than half. So we sometimes get up into the top third, which is amazing, right? And so I've been doing this, and the really interesting thing is that all of these sites, all of these handles, they have thousands of followers, right? They have got thousands, tens of thousands, and I believe one had over 100,000. I think it was 139,000 followers, and we're doing more money than them, right? So what is going on here? This is kind of the thing that we're doing. Is that marketing, especially Twitter, is just so much fakery there, right? It's just so much fakery, and we're really wanting to kind of point that out. And I just want to be as honest as possible, and it's nearly impossible to do that with business, but that's sort of my goal here, right? And this is a good way of doing that. It's just like, we have 350 followers, which is awesome, by the way. That we only had like 20 about 6 months ago, I want to say, about 20 to 30. But now we have about 350, and we're doing more than these sites, or these handles that have thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of followers. What is going on here? So this is kind of a cool thing. My score should sound like it should be a little bit higher, right? Because the reason, it's exciting to do this, but it doesn't seem to get a lot of traction, right? It seems like it should be a much bigger deal, and it just continues to feel like we're shouting into a void with Twitter, and it's just, what is going on here? Haven't cracked the riddle yet, but hopefully we will. Finally, with support, doing well here. Not a lot of problems, not a lot of support tickets, and I remain optimistic with our the quality of our application. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is that in doing the transfer, the system resale transfers, I was able to transfer over 100, I think it was about 150 licenses from one account to the next. This is on my local machine, right? But it did it within a matter of seconds, right? So I think it was like a second and a half. It was super duper fast. So I kind of want to start getting metrics around that, right? Like how many licenses, how many transactions can we do in a second? And, this is on my local machine, so it's not an accurate assessment because the bottleneck is Azure SQL. And that's the one that we have. The version of Azure SQL that we have is really limited. It's at the base level. It's like the lowest level you can go. And it's definitely a bottleneck. So I don't think we would get that much there, but it would be kind of interesting to find out. All right, man, I'm just keep on talking. It's every 2 weeks, right? This is the start of the month. This is kind of a, I guess a longer episode here, kind of getting people up to date and also just kind of brushing off the dust, right? This is why I do this every 2 weeks, to kind of brush off the dust and get a little acclimated to yapping my jaw here for about 20 minutes. And I just wanted to thank everyone out there for all of your help, all of your assistance, and all of your support. We have 350 followers now, and they are real. They are authentic. We do not do any funny business with our followers, and it's painfully apparent, right? We've had 20 like 6 months ago, and we have had to fight for each and every one of the followers that we have now. So very grateful for each and every one of you and all for your purchases, right? So we're making money, and we're generating revenue, and we are providing a market, a service to artists and collectors. So this is really exciting. It's just really awesome. And I just wanted to express my gratitude to each and every one of you. All right. So with that said, I just wanted to say that. And until next time, stay safe out there and stay bright. Goodbye.